Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. BlackRock, here we go. One of the largest anythings on the planet. I'm pretty sure that they are actually the largest investment company in the planet, is positioning itself into the Bitcoin mining industry. So I've told all of you, whether you remember this or not, it's a very simple idea. I find it weird and frustrating at the exact same time that there are so many companies getting into the cryptocurrency / Bitcoin space who are openly announcing that they're in the Bitcoin space and that they're actively working with companies and or doing things once again within the Bitcoin space. The news that BlackRock officially entered the cryptocurrency space, we actually had that news back in 2017. For those of you interested in that, you can definitely find it on Goggle. You just gotta search for it very quickly. Type in like BlackRock Bitcoin 2017, you'll find it. There were rumors that they were already into Bitcoin. They came out and denied it. Look who was lying. I've been trying to tell people, and I get it. I know that some of you understand me and you know what's going on. But for the other 96.5% who just simply aren't getting it, when you talk about these mega companies getting into a space, they do so with the idea and the knowledge that they're going to make as much money as possible in every single sector. You don't talk about a company announcing that they're getting into gold and being like, well, I assume, maybe they bought one piece of gold. I would assume that they're into mining the gold, buying the gold, holding the gold, selling off some gold, buying even more from the proceeds of them selling it, getting into other companies who are making jewelry. They go the entire facet to make sure that they're just not making money in one specific way. On that note, when you talk about BlackRock being in the industry, it is abundantly clear that these people own Bitcoin. They have bought some, and they are probably still buying. On the news that we're talking about right now, it was revealed that BlackRock is actually the second, if not the first, largest shareholder when it comes to Bitcoin mining around the world. There were people who were, There were people who were confused at this and were like, BlackRock is also into Bitcoin mining. You should assume if you have $11 trillion at your disposal, you would make sure BlackRock is probably into stuff in Bitcoin that we didn't even know exists. Stuff about like buying and selling and redistributing and computers and machines, like stuff that we couldn't even conceptualize actually exists within this space. Just assume that BlackRock is into it. Even without this news, I could have told you that BlackRock was probably number one or two, probably number one when it comes to being in this space. Of course they're mining it. These companies, why would BlackRock have wasted their time to try and get a physical Bitcoin ETF? Do you think they just wanted to say, we got the first Bitcoin ETF? Do you remember all these companies talking about by 2032, Bitcoin's going to $1 million? And I know that I've said that before, but I think it seems very abstract for people right now to even conceptualize the idea of a $500,000 Bitcoin based on where prices currently are. For whatever reason in the cryptocurrency space, and I think it goes completely all across finance. Whenever prices drop in anything, people never assume that it's simply a market cycle. It's some type of like, well, this is the end of the market. It's never going to recover. And that's not even just cryptocurrencies. That has to do with literally everything that's going on right now. I saw someone talking, remember last year when we were talking about like the housing market drop, and I was like, you guys are going to be in for a rude awakening because all these companies are buying up all these homes. It's the same exact thing when it comes to art. The art market, the comic market, the Pokemon card market, everything is down right now because we're waiting for the next economic boom whenever the Fed decides to stop raising interest rates. I saw people talking online at how like some Charizard card had like isn't as high as it was in 2021. And I had to be like, yeah, that's because 2021 was like the gigantic economic boom that, you know, we all benefited from that. Somebody was talking about how like Banksy prints are down by like 8%. And I was like, you see what's happening around the world, right? Like, you know, there's not going to be one asset class that's doing significantly well when everyone is like tepid about what could potentially be for the future. Anyway, reeling it back in, it's kind of the same exact thing as right now. There's so many articles, and I don't have them in any videos because the way that they're written is like a third grader just like learned how to use a computer, and it just sounds completely ridiculous. There's so many articles being like, whales are buying. Whales are continuously buying. There's like the top 10 Bitcoin addresses that exist, you know, that hold the most Bitcoin. They're accumulating constantly, like almost to the point where it's like, are they okay? Like, why are they buying so much every single day? But every single article is like, they're buying despite prices being low. These companies are accumulating even though that the cryptocurrency market isn't at its best right now. When would you expect them to accumulate? When do you expect people to buy real estate? Why do you think all the real estate is being scooped up right now? You know how many people are buying art right now that prices are low? I saw something the other day where this guy was talking about he was buying tons of like grade 10. So like, you know, 1 out of 10, you know, 10 out of 10, the highest grade for like trading cards and Pokemon cards and sports cards right now, because he's like, all the markets are down. This card was worth 6 times what it was before. It's going to go back up. Sorry, just a lot going on in the financial world. And I'm constantly always confused as to how, like, why don't people understand market cycles? And like, they're not that difficult to understand. Like, what is it? And this goes back to even, you know how many documentaries and everything I've watched about like market crashes, even since like the 1960s, 1970s, like going off the gold standard, everyone panicking, everything collapsing, and people being like, well, that's it. Finance is never coming back. Things go back up mid 1980s. 1980s? Yeah, that sounds about right. Things go down a bit. Well, it's never going to happen again. 1987, never going to happen again. Things go down in the early 90s because of a recession. Like everyone just assumes that the markets will never recover, except for the richest people. And these people end up buying up everything that there is out there. It's absolutely insane. There's multiple videos actually about like how many people are accumulating NFTs right now on Vivi. And I mean, like, these people are buying like several thousand of them a day. Some of the comics that are on there, and I won't name any specific ones just because I don't want anyone to do like a mad dash for them. These are major key comics. I mean, like in the real world, physical comics, these are major keys. And they are literally at the price where they were at drop value and or a little bit lower than that. And there's about 1% of what there was available back in 2021 of them on the app. And I'm like, when prices do move on the app and they pump, like they have pumped recently, like prices have been going up for certain collectibles, and everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy. And I'm like, you haven't seen anything yet. Just wait till the stock market's going back up. When the crypto market's going back up, all assets are going to pump at the exact same time. That's not wishful thinking. That is literally how it works cyclically and has always worked for as long as and I'll even give you a good 60, 70 years in finance. It's always been the same. Is it that you see prices are lower and you just assume, well, I'm not going to touch it because it might go lower? That must be it. Like, that must be something that my brain can't conceptualize that. And this was a really big thing a couple of years ago back in the cryptocurrency space. Whenever me and you know who you are, me and some of you out there, we used to see prices dropping. In that video, I was happy because I was like, this is great. I get to buy more. Prices go up by 25x over the next 2 years. And I'm like, okay, cool. We all made a huge amount of money because we know that the prices were going to go back up. So yes, BlackRock, the $11 trillion asset management company entity, global monolith, is investing heavily in Bitcoin when prices are down. They're investing heavily in mining Bitcoin when the machines are cheaper. You know that when Bitcoin's price goes down, mining equipment also goes down because people for some reason aren't as interested in it? The machines get cheaper to be able to mine these coins. Can you guess what happens when the price goes back up? I'm certain you can't. That's right. The machine's prices skyrocket. They're sold out everywhere. Remember a couple of years ago? Remember 2017, 2019, 2020? Remember there were no machines and a whole bunch of people who actually use what is used for Bitcoin mining equipment. They would normally use that as their like super powerful computer at home. They couldn't find any parts because everyone was buying them up in a frenzy as Bitcoin's price was going up. If only someone was buying them when the prices were down so that they could accumulate as much as they possibly wanted to be able to mine more as the price. Anybody with me? The investment giant is already the second largest shareholder in 4 of the 5 biggest Bitcoin mining companies by market cap. According to Companies Market Cap, did not know that was a thing index, the 5 largest Bitcoin mining companies sum up $5.4 billion in market cap and have registered massive losses in the last 30 days as prices are all over the place. Here's a little chart right here. Wait, here we go. Here's the other chart right here. It's Riot, Marathon Digital Holdings, Cypher, Hut 8, and TerraWolf. I have never heard of TerraWolf, and not to be mean, but I assume that's why they're number 5. I've never heard of TerraWolf, and I've been doing this channel for like 95 years at this point. Yes, very popular news. A lot of people were like, whoa, they're probably into everything. Like literally everything that you could begin to imagine with Bitcoin. If they plan on making money from Bitcoin going to $25,000 to $1 million, you think they're just holding Bitcoin? You know that they're doing other stuff in the industry as well, right? They're not just mining as well. They're probably into every single little crevice that there could be. Anyway, that's the largest company in the world, is into the largest cryptocurrency, and they are majority or something authority stakeholders in the top 4 out of 5 cryptocurrency mining companies in the market. Just seems a little bit logical. Yeah, I sincerely hope that everyone's paying attention, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. We have so much activity happening within the cryptocurrency space. All this news about whales buying, their interest, what they're trying to do, how they're setting themselves up for the next bull run. I hope that everyone out there who was complaining before that prices were too high, they wanted them to go down so that they could accumulate. Now's your time, buddy boy. That's the BlackRock news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, because the R word is there, following an extensive struggle with the US SEC, Ripple has gained acknowledgement, from People's Magazine. This week, the publication included the San Francisco-based blockchain company in its compilation of the 100 companies who care for employees and society. That's a title. People Magazine specifically recognized Ripple for its corporate social responsibility initiative, the Ripple Impact Program, which is dedicated to enhancing financial inclusion, promoting sustainability, and advancing research. Is there like a little pretty photo here? Nope, no pretty photo. Apparently, other people in the rankings were American Express, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Target, okay, NVIDIA, Deloitte, Accenture, Atlassian. Is that a car? It looks like Nissan and Atlantis. Atlassian, okay. MasterCard and others, and Ripple got the 83rd spot out of 100. This has happened a lot. I'm not sure why this year is like the Ripple making it into top 100 categories. There was another one recently. It wasn't People Magazine. There was another publication that said like they made the top 100 and like best companies to work for. They made another one. It was like best places to be a mom or something like that. The idea was like if you have kids, like apparently they help you take care of them. It was all these. They keep making these rankings, and this is now another one. So they're now a company that cares. I would like to assume that this is Not because of the SEC win, but I assume that they're making it more into the news because of the SEC win that they have. Cool. Fantastic, Ripple. Also, just as something to throw out there, apparently they're the only cryptocurrency company in this ranking, like at all. So I hope that they continue doing well because it makes me wonder, personally, where the other companies would fall in this ranking as well. There were and have been a lot of discussions behind the scenes from other employees who have worked at other crypto companies and have left after a couple of weeks. So good job, Ripple. I mean, get all the good press now while you can, even though people aren't paying attention to it. But cool. They made the top 100 list for people, companies that care. Not at all what I was expecting. And yeah, let's move on. Also in cool. After an order from the Belgian Financial Services and Markets Authority, FSMA, Binance has announced that their Poland entity would be providing services to residents of Belgium. It's a really weird regulatory landscape that we're in right now. And I'm a little shocked that a lot of the negative news that we're getting is actually coming from Europe. The surprise is that they were the first ones to give cryptocurrency regulations. They have the cryptocurrency ETFs before the United States. They came to a conclusion, was it last summer, that they would have a unified regulatory approach. It would basically blanket the AML, KYC stuff, and they've done pretty well. There's also a couple of European countries that have the 0% tax rate. But for some reason, there's certain countries out there who are being, and I don't know what the discussions are, so I can't say that they're being mean to Binance because I don't know what Binance is or is not doing regulatorily wise. But there's been about 4 countries recently who have denied Binance paperwork and basically said you can't get what you've signed up for, we won't give you this license, etc., etc. And apparently Belgium is now one of them. In an announcement, Binance said Binance Poland, SPZOO, it says ZOO, an entity the exchange registered with Poland's regulatory authority in January, would comply with regulatory obligations for residents of Belgium looking for services on the exchange, according to Binance. Some users may need to submit documentation in accordance with Know Your Customer requirements for Poland rather than Belgium. The announcement came roughly 2 months after Belgium's financial regulator ordered Binance to stop offering crypto exchange and custody wallet services, citing violations of the country's anti-money laundering and combating the financing of requirements. At the same time, FSMA suggested Binance could operate in Belgium via a legal entity governed by the law of another member state of the European Economic Area, EEA, that is duly authorized by its home member state. The EEA includes Poland, for those of you who did not know that. Weird. So apparently they didn't get the paperwork for Belgium. They were told to stop offering their services, but because they have paperwork for another country within the European Union, they're basically able to still offer the exact same services within Poland that they were told to stop offering in the first place. Why do countries do this? Why? What's the reason for being? They have the paperwork. If they're legally able, that's like you being able to do something in Japan and then being like, well, if you have the paperwork for Japan, you might as well just, do it in Italy, but you're banned from doing it in Italy, so you have to get the paperwork from Japan to do it here. And then you're like, okay, cool, that's what so this was also, and I mean lightly major news. I think a lot of times, for whatever reason, people still don't like Binance, once again, based off of lies that were told back in 2017, 2018, the same exact people who were spreading lies and rumors about Ripple and XRP, and the same exact people who were also spreading rumors about Tether. A lot of rumors going on within the cryptocurrency space. So whenever there is negative Binance news, it tends to be quite popular. Like, what is Binance not doing? Like, what paperwork don't they have? They've been hyper regulatorily compliant for as long as the last 2 or 3 years, as far back as we can see. But there's still some places out there who just don't want them in their borders. And a lot of times, as we all know, if you can't figure out something, the answer is usually money. So I would assume there must be larger entities within Belgium who are trying to start their own cryptocurrency exchange. And the way that they do it is by knocking out the largest player in the space. And that currently is Binance. That's the Binance can still do what they were doing before, but just by working in Poland news. Make it make sense. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news, people liked this news, and I get it, but okay. Polygon co-founder, his name is Sandeep Nailwal, has shared details about something called POL, which he describes as a massive technical upgrade to the Matic Polygon token. According to Nailwal, POL provides the benefits of multi-chain staking without the additional risks associated with restaking. Okay. He said POL is a massive technical upgrade to Matic. POL delivers the benefits of multi-chain staking without the additional risks of restaking. With the Polygon 2.0 proposal, the Polygon ecosystem will expand from a single chain to an ecosystem of layer 2s that can easily interoperate and share. And then it says show more, but I'm not going to click on that. He goes on to say that the Polygon ecosystem will be expanded from a single chain to layer 2s. POL is staked in the staking hub in Polygon 2.0. POL can be restaked to validate any number of chains on the network using an approach known as enshrined restaking. POL may be used to stake any number of chains and play any number of roles natively. Is POL a coin? Is POL what you use to stake instead of using the actual Polygon Matic? Is POL something that then goes across multiple chains that can be staked as opposed to having to unstake your Matic and then put it onto another chain because they're all interoperable? I'm full of questions. POL would be a two-dimensional restaking innovation. Enshrined restaking eliminates reliance on third parties, resulting in fewer vectors of centralization. POL can be used to protect more than just chains. It can also secure the AGG layer, DAX, and other components. I feel like none of my answered were even lightly answered. Popular news. I assume it's because it's Polygon. It's one of the most used chains that we have out there. It is currently the upgrade solution that we've been waiting for Ethereum since around 2016, 2017. I assume the linking of all the chains together, no mention of which chains, by the way. I assume there's a whole bunch of layer 2 chains that will be linked and you can stake on all of them. And I assume that you would be using POL, which I'm going to assume is a coin, to be able to stake across all of these. And they would all then take the POL coin as opposed to just their own coin. So you wouldn't have to move your Polygon to a completely different chain. Does that sound logical? This was popular, and like I said, I get it, but then also like, okay, well, that's cool. We're apparently supposed to, I don't think we have it yet. Is there a Polygon 2.0 at this point? I haven't gotten any news about it. And I can say that confidently, like in the last 7 months, there's been no Polygon 2.0 news. Is this like a proposal for something that will happen when the chain gets upgraded? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. That's the Polygon Matic news. Okay. Well, wonderful. I mean, they do have hundreds of partnerships, so I assume we'll be getting more POL news. Is that proof of limit? Proof of lane? What does POL stand for? Okay. All right. Let's move on. Proof of, okay. Also sure, why not? Apparently, in 2022, Stable coins on various layer 1 networks, that is to say, not even on layer 2, reached a transaction volume of 6.8 trillion US dollars, apparently doing a lot more than MasterCard and PayPal. And they have a little chart right here for those of you not looking at the screen. The blue is 2022, and apparently stablecoins did more than MasterCard. They did more than PayPal. Visa is still the giant, and Bitcoin did more than all of them with $15 trillion, more than $1 trillion per month. And that's how you, all the 2023 numbers look terrible as far as like stable coins, and also as much value as Bitcoin has transacted. I assume that's because of the drop in price. That seems completely logical from my standpoint. We used to get a lot of news like this a couple of years ago. It becomes quite popular when comparing the old traditional financial system to the cryptocurrency ecosystem, and therefore you can say, look how much more that we've done in transfers comparative to the other economic systems that we currently have. It's interesting to note before we actually move on from this. The most interesting part to me is the actual, if you feel this way, as far as us like still being early within the space. If Bitcoin last year already did more than Visa and MasterCard and PayPal, what happens when Bitcoin goes through 2 more halvings? I feel like these won't even be comparative anymore, because Bitcoin will probably be doing like $150 trillion per year in value actually moving through it. So yeah, the news is that stable coins did more than MasterCard and PayPal, and I would dare say this is probably exactly the reason why PayPal has launched a stable coin, because they saw exactly how much money was flowing through the ecosystem. They wanted to try their hand at it as well, to be able to say that they also have one. But sure, I still have no hopes for PayPal stablecoin. That is a personal thing. I had 1 or 2 people asking me about it, like in my personal life, as far as like not should they invest in it, but the idea of it actually doing something for Ethereum's ecosystem, as you know, as it is on top of Ethereum, which should also be noted as well. But it's more of I think we won't see the real value of it until we actually have a bull run. Like that's always the moment where we see exactly who are the winners and the losers within the entire space. We need to see during a bull run, are people choosing to use PayPal stablecoin? Are they still using Tether? Are they using USDC BAB124 coin, or what do they choose to use? Is there a stablecoin on Bitcoin? I hear nothing about it. I feel like there is, but it seems almost like redundant, and there's so many other quicker chains. So yeah, cool, wonderful, fantastic. Stable coins apparently are stable coining themselves, and they're being used. Fantastic. I do sincerely hope that all of you out there have enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.